Lorenzo Cotola, number 88. Blake Dugas, number 33. Ethan Kemmerer, if I mispronounce, I apologize, number 99. Jason Lake, number 28. Rocco Lamia, number 82. Bryce Nabonzi, number 11. Caden Sculio, number 23. And Kenny Smith, number 3. And whereas head coach Tony Lamia and the entire coaching staff, consisting of assistant coaches Tom Dugas, Scott Lake, John Nabonzi, I apologize, Ken Smith, and Joe Ledasic, were integral in guiding and encouraging the team, which has led to their growth as players, athletes, and good sportsmen, as well as to their accomplishments as a team with their unwavering support and dedication. And whereas all could not have happened without the support of their parents, who made sacrifices of their time to ensure that these young athletes attended the practices and games, both home and away. Without the parents' involvement and commitment, there would be no Plum Crusaders Ripken baseball team, nor a Plum Baseball and Softball Association. Now therefore, I, Harry R. Schlegel, Mayor, and the entire Borough Council, do hereby recognize and commend the 2022 Plum Crusaders Ripken baseball team on their outstanding accomplishments so far this year. And further, I urge all citizens in Plum Borough to join us in recognizing and celebrating the team's achievements and wish the members of this team continued success on the field and in life. And in witness whereof, I have set my hand on this 11th day of July 2022. Gentlemen, thank you for making Plum proud. And guys, give your parents a hand, because without them, you would have never made it to the game. Thank you. And again, young people in this community do a lot of things. And I was only given this on Friday, so I don't have a proclamation. You don't have to listen to it, but we'll get them in the future. Plum Area Youth Soccer had 14 teams participated in the end of season PA West soccer tournament at Edinburgh University. The tournament took place over the weekends of June 17th and June 24 to 26. Of those 14 competing teams, Plum had 5 champions. Plum had more champions crowned than any other participating clubs in all of PA West. Of those 5 champions, 4 teams competed in the highest division offered in that tournament. And 1 was competing in an age group a year above their team age. Under the boys, U16 Silver, Plum Thunder, Luke Kosovic, U11 Silver, Plum Avalanche, Bob Kovac. The girls, U10 Bronze, Plum Chaos, Chris Waschak. U11 Silver Girls, Plum Rowdies, Tony Arrigo. And U12 Silver, Plum Flash, Luke Leskovic. And again, all the young people in this borough are making us proud and putting the name, Plum Borough's name, in record books and on the map. Thank you all. And thank you to the coaches and parents again. And that, sir, is all I have right now.
That's all you have. The best news you got tonight is that you can leave. You're not going to offend us.
Yes, you're going to leave.
You don't have to stay and listen to this meeting. Congratulations.
Good luck, guys, in your future tournaments.
Okay, moving along. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Civic announcements.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pam Calfo from the Plum Library. Our summer reading program is still going very, very strong at the library, so thank you for everyone who has stopped by, attended a program, checked out a book, come and used a computer. The library is always here for you. We have programs the next few weeks until the first week of August, then we're kind of winding down programs and gearing up for fall. One program coming up that I want to highlight is we have local author and blogger Melanie Novak coming back to the library on Tuesday, July 26th at 6:30. She came in the spring and did a great talk about Hollywood and films, and her talk this time is called Bogart and Bacall, The Lives and Films of Hollywood's Greatest Romances. Melanie's a great speaker, local to Plum, and we're excited about welcoming her back to the library. And visit our website for more information about that talk and all of our other programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other civic announcements tonight? Okay, we're along to president's comments, of which I have none this evening. Citizens' comments on agenda items. No one has signed up for that, but that's not gonna, if anybody has anything they want to say? Okay, seeing none. Council actions. On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, Mr. Delaney.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Sir.
On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to accept the Alvey Lawrence Simple Subdivision and Lot Line Revision FSC-05-22 as complete.
Motion by Mr. Delaney,
I'll second that.
seconded by Mr. Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to adopt Resolution 933-22, approving an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with the municipality of Penn Hills for the review of the Alvey Lawrence Simple Subdivision and Lot Line Revision.
Motion by Mr. Delaney,
Second.
second by Mr. Hadley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to approve the conditional use request CU-01-22 from SBA Communication Corporation for property located at 470 Davidson Road, 740-M-175, for a storage yard as an accessory use with the condition that a 6-foot-high chain link fence with privacy slats be built along the common lot line with 2 Commerce Drive from the rear of the building to the rear lot line.
We have a motion by Mr. Delaney,
Seconded.
second by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to grant a request for land development approval SP-02-22 from SBA Communication Corporation for property located at 470 Davidson Road, 740-M-175 for the construction of a storage yard, conditioned upon the applicant entering into a development agreement with the Borough of Plum.
Motion by Mr. Delaney,
Seconded.
second by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And that is all, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Delaney. On behalf of Personnel and Management, Mr. Hadley.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Personnel and Management Committee, I move to approve a cost of living increase for a retired police officer as recommended by the Borough Actuary.
Motion by Mr. Hadley,
Seconded.
second by Mr. Seitz. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the Personnel and Management Committee, I move to approve a cost of living increase for a second retired police officer as recommended by the Borough Actuary.
We have a motion by Mr. Hadley,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Vento. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the Personnel and Management Committee, I move to approve a cost of living increase for a third retired police officer as recommended by the Borough Actuary.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Hadley, second by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On behalf of the Personnel and Management Committee, I move to make a conditional offer of employment to Tyler Kurtz as a police patrolman.
We have a motion by Mr. Hadley,
Seconded.
seconded by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
I got to abstain.
Okay, roll call, Mr. Thomas, please.
On the motion to appoint Tyler Kurtz as a probationary police officer, Mr. Delaney,
Yes.
Mr. Dern,
Yes.
Mr. Doyle,
Yes.
Mr. Hadley,
Yes.
Mr. Seitz abstains, Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Vento,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
They're out there, gentlemen.
Yep, yep,
Tyler?
yep.
Is that a whoop? It's a whoop. We're whoop buddies.
Welcome
Oh,
aboard.
I forgot we hired
Welcome
you.
home.
Congratulations.
Oh, give him a sticker.
That's all right.
You can
If
take
you're gonna
Definitely
break,
gets a
if you're gonna break one, that's the one to break.
Thought he was gonna hit.
That's in fact, that's your prize for taking the job. You get to keep it.
Welcome aboard.
He's a whoop buddy. It's a fitness tracker.
I'd also like to point out that a majority, a lot of our police department are here in support of the new hire too, so you should go say hi to them too.
He's on his way.
Look at him. He was already there.
Good stuff.
Okay.
That's it, Mr. Hadley?
Nope, got
Yeah,
more.
one more.
On behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, I move to make a conditional offer of employment to Dylan Condis as a police patrolman.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Mr. Hadley, seconded by Mr. Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is he here with us tonight?
Yes, he
Yes,
is.
he is.
And I got to say one thing. I'm going to interject something, Hill. Dylan and his family's back there. One thing, it's about you, I know, but I got to recognize your sister, who's half fish. She swam for University of Houston.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah. But proud mother, Dylan, welcome home.
Could you have your boy?
Welcome aboard, yes.
Welcome aboard. And again, welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
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 Welcome aboard.
Congratulations. Glad to have you.
Mr. Hadley?
Okay, and finally, on behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, I move to appoint James Sandella to fill the unexpired 5-year term of Jay Adams on the Plum Boro Municipal Authority Board through December 31st, 2025.
We have a motion by Mr. Hadley,
Seconded.
second by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. He is here with us tonight. Thank you, thanks for showing up. Look forward
Thanks for
to, look forward to
volunteering.
working with you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for
Welcome.
your time.
And that is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. Mr. Thomas, quick question for you. Actually, it's probably for the solicitor. Under public safety, we were going to table this. Do we have to still read the announcement?
Move the table.
Okay. On behalf of public safety, Mr. Dern.
We table number 11?
Yeah, civil service.
Yep.
Number 11?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I move the table, the motion number 11, motion to authorize the advertisement of changes to the civil service regulations.
We have a motion by Mr. Dern to table.
Second.
Second by Mr. Seitz. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is tabled. Thank you, Mr. Dern. Mr. Seitz, on behalf of the Finance Committee.
Thank you. On behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to approve ordinance 963-22, amending fees for solid waste and recycling.
We have a motion by Mr. Seitz,
I'll second that.
seconded by Mr. Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Seitz. On behalf of Roads, Equipment, and Grounds, Mr. Bento.
On behalf of the Roads, Equipment, and Grounds Committee, I move to approve a temporary construction easement with Consol Mining Company, LLC, for property on Old Mine Road.
Motion by Mr. Vento,
I'll second it.
seconded by Mr. Delaney. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Also, on behalf of the committee, I move to approve change order number 1 in the amount of $41,024.47 for paving on the Malabar Bridge project.
Motion by Mr. Vento,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Hadley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Also, on behalf of the committee, I move to approve change order number 2 in the amount of $8,001.50 for guide rail on the Malabar Bridge project.
Motion by Mr. Vento,
I'll second that.
seconded by Mr. Taylor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Also, on behalf of the committee, I move to approve change order number 2 in the amount of $67,604.40, eliminating the Davidson Road work from the 2022 paving program. This is a deduct change order.
Motion by Mr. Vento,
Seconded.
second by Mr. Dern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Vento. That ends council actions for the evening. Moving along to the mayor's report. Mr. Mayor.
Again, thank you, Mr. President. Got a couple of things. One, calls are going up. In the month of June, we had 996 calls for service, and that's approximately an 8% increase. One of the things that I like about doing this is the involvement that our police have within the community, not just in enforcing laws and ordinances and such, but the interaction between the community and our officers, and vice versa, officers and community. that I hear this from other mayors and council people. Plum is unique in that in a lot of respects. Not that the other communities don't recognize their officers, but they don't recognize them to the extent that our community recognizes these officers. And it's summer, so the ATS radar display's out. You know, they've got on here is the mayor's monthly speeders. I call them idiots. The ATS radar speed display sign was deployed on New Texas in the 700 block from June 1st through June 27th. How many cars do you think go by that on New Texas? Just a guess. Rough, throw a number out to me.
37.
No, you're high.
85,000.
1
You're
million.
high. Well, 59,000. One way. All right? And the average speed was 34. The speed limit's 35. And again, some idiot decided to do 60.
They caught you,
Unfortunately,
Harry.
we cannot catch the license plate as they go by. We don't have a front license plate, okay? I wish we did. And on O Block Road from June 1st through July, they collected, there was 22,000, call it, over a 30-day period. 25 mile an hour speed limit, 54 mile an hour some idiot decides to do. I've got pictures of some of these. A couple young people on motorcycles that shouldn't have been out on the road. One is a dirt bike. He was caught. So with that said, I would like to invite the chief up. One of our officers, Sean Porter, has spent the last year, chief, over in Afghanistan and Iraq.
He was there approximately 9 months.
9 months. And Sean is home, so I'd appreciate if everybody welcomed him back when you see him. You may know my story. I was a Vietnam veteran. We did not get welcomed home. And since that time, I was determined that every time somebody's returning home that I'm aware of, I will welcome them home. Chief?
During Sean's deployment in the Middle East, I kept tabs with him every month, as you could see in the monthly reports, what his status was, how he was doing, how his family was doing. And in recognition of our concern for him, Sean took it upon himself to have this flag flown above the American Embassy in Baghdad, Iraq on June 1st of this year in honor of the Plum Boro Police Department.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
That's nice.
Very cool.
Present this to the mayor.
Well, you're going to put it in your office.
You put it in until we get to the new.
Yeah, my office, till we get to the new building. Thanks.
You mean the office that doesn't have any windows?
No windows.
Yeah, there you go.
Does it have a shelf? Put a
No,
shelf up.
it
Thank you,
doesn't.
Chief.
You're gonna have an office.
Thank you, Chief.
And the other thing was, I want to mention that without the support of the community, but more importantly, without the support of the borough staff, Plum Summerfest would not have been the success it was.
Here,
I mean,
here.
there was over 1,000 people up there.
Oh, that was so much fun.
It was.
Lot of
And we're getting a reputation. I'm going to ask a question here. I asked it last Saturday night at the movie in the park, and I was shocked by the answer. How many know we're building a new borough building? Oh, well, because up there, no one knew.
Wait, we are?
Yeah. Up there, no one knew, and we need to do a better job of getting that information out. And again, it could not have happened, Summerfest could not have happened without our stalwart, Monica Stanza,
Yes.
Bill Burchek, Joe Mugley, and the entire borough staff and Public Works for putting that field and fixing the field up afterwards. So thanks to, thank you, staff.
Yes.
That's all I have, since you
on-
continue harassing.
Well said, Mayor.
On that note, if I could, just a minute, since the mayor mentioned that, I was up there Thursday night, and I think it was probably the busiest Thursday I've ever been involved with. There was a lot of people there, and I saw Joe, what was his last name?
Mugley.
Mugley, and working, and I was like, wow, this guy's a machine, you know, I had to go over and talk to him. I was so impressed with him and what he was getting done. It was really something to see. But yeah, it was a well-run festival. Everybody, even the volunteers were good, you know, that I saw. So thanks everybody that participated and came and volunteered, and the people from the borough that that were there that helped, that put the place all together. So thank you again.
And one final thing before you jump on.
Yes, sir.
We had coffee with the mayor and manager, and that was during the day. This time, we are going to have coffee with the mayor and manager, and it'll be on July the 19th. That's a Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. We had a large group of people. This is a place where you can come and ask the questions. Believe it or not, I sit there and keep my mouth shut because the manager gets to answer all the questions.
You keep your mouth shut?
I do.
I'm going to have to show up now and
Okay,
make
it's
sure of
fine.
that. I don't believe that at all, Mayor.
That's not really
But you're
accurate.
welcome, the community is welcome to come and
That's
have
not
the
really
questions.
accurate, I'm sorry, that's not.
Yes, yeah.
That's not really accurate.
And again, that's coffee with the mayor and the manager, Tuesday evening at 6:30. This, the 19th. Now I'm done.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, maybe not.
Okay. Moving along to committee reports. The Intergovernmental Cooperative Committee with the Plum School District.
Don't have anything.
No report. Okay. Finance Committee, Mr. Seitz.
Thanks, Mr. Doyle.
Yes, sir.
General fund highlights for the month of June, the borough received revenues of $2.1 million and expenditures of $1.1 million. On the revenue side, year-to-date, we've collected 56% of the earned income tax revenues, 57% of the regional asset district funding, and 49% of sanitation revenues. Overall, revenues are trending as expected, but we expect to be slightly over budget on revenues this year. We have enough cash reserves. We will not need to draw on our tax anticipation note. On the expenditure side, we're 47% of budget, and through the end of the year, we're not projected to have any significant overruns. The Finance Committee will meet on Monday, July 18th, to review the 2021 Meyer Dussel audit findings and to conduct a mid-year review of the 2022 budget. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Seitz. Roads, Equipment, and Grounds, Mr. Vento.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Roads and Equipment and Ground Committee, or the Public Works Department, let's put it that way, for the month of June is as follows. This is the work they got done that month. The new culvert is in place on Malabar Drive. The head wall and end wall have been poured in place. The dirt backfill was hauled in by Public Works and was then placed and subcompacted by the contractor. The contractor is currently waiting for the asphalt subcontractor to place the road subbase and complete the asphalt paving. Once this has been completed, the guide rail will need to be installed. It was supposed to be paved last week, but they had an equipment malfunction, so hopefully they're there paving. I know they were supposed to be.
They had the stone down today.
Did they? Good.
They put the base down.
Now, one question, Mike, since we're is the newly motioned and paid for guide rail bill, is that company ready to get in there quick, when we're done with that paving?
I don't know, but I was gonna say Charlie would be the person to ask for that.
Charlie?
Charlie, you come up? Thanks.
Charlie Prokopic, KU Resources. Yes, the contractor, Penline's going to be the subcontractor installing the guide rail, and they confirmed today, either Friday or Monday, the guide rail will go in.
Okay, terrific. Yeah, they're a big company. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.
Track mats were purchased as a capital purchase. A new John Deere mower was acquired this month also. And the road maintenance for the month is Biscayne Drive, there was one inlet replaced and one inlet repaired. On Tivoli Road, 485 feet of 15-inch pipe was replaced. There was also 2 inlets repaired and 2 additional inlets installed. On Harborview Drive, 40 feet of 15-inch pipe was replaced and 2 inlets were repaired. On Surfside Drive, the pipe crossing was replaced. There was also 1 inlet replaced and 1 inlet repaired. Mount Hood Drive, 150 feet of 15-inch pipe was replaced, and 3 inlets were repaired. And I'm sure you're wondering, why am I doing this? This is all in preparation for the new paving this year. So this is all done before we pave, not that coming in after. We do that every year just to bring you up to speed on that. The inlets on Shelbourne Drive, Blue Ridge Road, and Fawn Court were repaired. Also part of the project, I think. The footbridge that crosses the creek at the Plum Creek ball fields was repaired. On Michelle Road, the berm and asphalt were repaired. The total asphalt usage for infrastructure on June was 121 tons. The total asphalt usage for road repairs for June was 42 tons. The boulder wall at the new borough building has been installed. The grading has also been completed. The dirt dumped on the upper level of the dump site at Larry Mills Park was removed and transferred to the lower level. The upper level area was prepped and used for parking at Summerfest. The inlet inspections for the MS4 reports that are due this year is ongoing. The rights-of-way mowing with the flail mower is ongoing. The new street signs have arrived for the streets that were paved last year. These signs will be installed as time allows. New street signs were installed to replace multiple old signs that were damaged or that had poor reflectivity. There were also numerous unnecessary signs removed at various locations. There was a total of 166 overtime hours for the various pipe jobs and special events throughout the month. The police and public works fleet equipment maintenance, there were 14 pieces of borough equipment and trucks repaired. There were 7 police vehicles repaired. These repairs range from tire replacement to fuel issues on some of them and exhaust work. Pretty much standard, the run-of-the-mill maintenance is done here. So that's all I have. I do have one other thing I'd like to mention. Saturday there was a stormwater task force meeting, and myself, from the committee, myself and Dave Odom were able to attend. And Sam Prokopic was here from the planning department, and Tyson from our engineers was there too. And we were really happy with, there was about 16 people, I believe, there, and thank them for coming. They really, you know, there was a lot of good questions asked, and I think most of them, if not all, were answered at least somewhat satisfactorily. Nobody's going to be 100% satisfied until the flooding issues, hopefully someday, are, you know, repaired in the borough. But we had a chance to explain what is going on in the borough with the flooding, you know, what we're trying to do to get rid of the flooding issues in the worst neighborhoods that we know of right now. So just want to thank everybody involved. We had a nice meeting. Hopefully next time we can get even more people. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Vento. Public Safety, Mr. Dern.
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Mr. Maloney's not here to give his operations report for the Plum EMS, so I'll do that. For the month of June, they had 256 responses, and out of that, they had 149 patient transports. Responses to other communities for mutual aid was 21, and 17 of those responses resulted in a transport to the hospital. Total mutual aid received in the Plum was 8. So out of all the requests for EMS and Plum, 3.4% for the month were turned over to neighboring EMS agencies. And along with the emergency calls throughout the month of June, Plum EMS provided EMS coverage during the 3 nights of Plum Summerfest. They conducted a presentation for a summer camp at the Plum High School, and they continuously strive for excellence as crew members train nearly every shift. And they want to be able to provide extraordinary customer service and know that practice is the way we all make that happen. And that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. Planning and Economic Development, Mr. Delaney.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me get it right here. For the Planning and Economic Development Report, for our financial summary, there were 69 permits issued with $13,075 in revenue. The Planning Commission did meet on June 20th. It discussed the following submissions. One was a plum storage expansion at 1010 Salzburg Road. This request was tabled until the July 18th Planning Commission meeting. A request for a preliminary final land development at the previously mentioned 1010 Salzburg Road. This was also tabled until the July 18th meeting. Patriots Estates, their tentative PRD approval. This Planning Commission recommended approval with conditions at 470 Davidson Road site expansion. The Planning Commission recommended approval for conditional use approval for establishing a storage yard in the rear of the property. Also at 470 Davidson Road for site expansion, the Planning Commission recommended the approval for a preliminary final land development approval. This is for paving the rear of the property to establish the storage yard. The zoning hearing board did not meet in June. In terms of activity, some of the highlights, we continue to work and update our GSI map. In terms of MS4, we had outfall and observation point inspections. We met with HRG and a contractor regarding the Serenity Ridge Pond, and we performed outfall and observation point inspections. We performed field inspection at Oakmont Heights Phase 1 for cleanouts. We met KU on site for final inspection at the Chaffo Landscaping. Staff met with Oakmont Country Club to discuss a new maintenance storage building. They also met with Olympus Energy to discuss the Hermes well pad project. And they also met with Sheets to review the application for Sheets' new location. For code enforcement, we completed 55 residential occupancy inspections. We addressed 30 complaints for junk, debris, abandoned vehicles, vacant structures, and high grass. And we performed a follow-up visit at the site at 10120 Salzburg Road, which has an open violation. We also worked with grants for the Watershed Restoration and Protection Grant. This is for management of borough-owned ponds. Submitted. This would be for 2 Whispering Pines ponds and a Rockland Manor pond. We also worked with the Greenwells Trail Grant. This is for the splash pad building and plaza. That was submitted. There was $50,000 awarded for demolition of 7906 Salzburg and 488 New Texas Road. We're still waiting to hear back from the Turtle Creek Valley COG to see if we can use that funds for additional houses. And that would be all, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Delaney. Parks and Recreation, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Just a few prior events for the month of June. Monday, June 6th, saw the return of the Monday Market at Plum Creek Park. We had a dozen vendors participate, and I hope we will continue to expand over time. Beginning July 9th, we will feature a different food truck at the market each week. Thursday, June 23rd through June 25th, of course, everyone knows Summerfest 22 was held at Larry Mills Park. The weather was fantastic, and so was the crowd. On-site parking filled quickly, but we were prepared for a free round-trip shuttle service from Amplified Church. C&L shows returned with their carnival rides, and we had numerous food trucks on site. We reached capacity with 10 local community groups running games and 10 local non-food vendors offering a variety of services. The festival concluded on Saturday evenings with fireworks extravaganza. Saturday, July 9th, our second movie in the park was held. At Larry Mills Park, our feature film was Boss Baby Family Business. We had 132 people in attendance and offered free popcorn and pre-show activities. Upcoming events, every Monday, June to September, the Monday Market continues. The market is located at Plum Creek Park and is open from 3 to 6. Saturday, August 8th, movie in the park at Larry Mills. Our feature film is going to be Sing 2. Saturday, August 13th, the school district has requested our help with their back-to-school movie night. The district will be showing Space Jam outdoors at the Plum High School. You know where they're going to have that at? Is that going to be?
We're meeting with them tomorrow to discuss specifically where they're going to do that.
Okay. And our In Plum magazine, our fall issue of In Plum magazine will be sent out in mid-August. Also, a few statistics as of July 9th. 5,203 Facebook followers, up from 5,139 last month, and 2,628 Savvy Citizen followers, up from 2,614 last month. And again, Mr. President, also, Mike, thanks for your due diligence on the Summerfest. It was a great festive.
It was mostly Mona and Bill, but thank you, I appreciate it.
That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Next on the agenda is citizens' comments on non-agenda items. We did have one gentleman signed up. David Schwartz? Yes. You're on.
My name is David L. Schwartz, residing with my wife Harriet at 5008 Hialeah Drive, Plum Boro. I also represent several neighbors whose signatures and addresses are listed at the end of this statement. As you probably are aware, the residence at 5021 Hialeah, directly across from our residence, exploded and burned to the ground in late April 2022. In the meantime, despite what I and my neighbors observed as intensive investigation, there has been no resolution that I'm aware of as to what caused the event. During this period, leading up to today, no action has been taken to clean up the ruins, other than the drainage of the swimming pool. The site is an eyesore particularly since all neighbors keep their property in effective, excellent upkeep in a very residential area. In addition, there is a real threat of potential harm, particularly with the possibility of rats and other vermin invading the site. The grass in the front yard is waist deep, which encourages the proliferation of mosquitoes, ticks, and other insects. Shattered glass covers the driveway. I personally observed a young boy, 6 years or less, drive his bicycle over this glass several times. If he had fallen on the glass, possible injury would have resulted. We, the residents of Hialeah Drive, petitioned the Borough Council to take action and quickly to resolve this condition. It has been more than 2 months since the explosion and fire, and very little has been done to clean up this site. Submitted respectfully.
Thank you, Mr. Schwartz. Mr. Thomas, do you have, can you give us an update of what's going on here? Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, and Assistant Chief Fosteretta can probably shed much more light on this as well, but unfortunately, the scene is still an active criminal investigation, and with the county fire marshal and with our own department, which is why that nothing has been done to this point.
We saw them take away an appliance, wrapped all up. Surely they discovered what caused the fire from that, what they took away.
Obviously, we can't speak about the details because it is an active investigation. I can't speak to her conclusion that she's drawn from what she's seen. The problem is that as they move through the investigation, you have multiple agencies here. When they need to return to the scene because they discover new things, we're just not at the stage right now where we can say, go ahead, we're done, and go ahead and clean it up.
Mark, would you mind coming up to the podium, please? So that
We get on.
we need you to get on the air so that people listening can hear.
As I was stating, the problem is that we can't begin the cleanup because as the agencies move through the investigation, it's a complex investigation. This is not a small matter that needs to be investigated. And as they discover new things, if they have to return to the crime scene, we can't risk the loss of evidence. And she spoke to them removing some items. While that's true, and I can't speak to what that means, that doesn't mean that there's been a conclusion drawn in the investigation.
Question for you. Is there any way, like the child on the driveway, is there any way to get that orange fencing up around it to protect it more so there's no access to the property?
It'll probably be Public Works.
Yeah, we could check on that and see where they would
We
be
could
able
talk
to
about
draw
like
the line.
securing the scene.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that at least.
Yeah.
There's a do not enter ribbon around.
Well, a
Well-
ribbon, but a child's still riding on the driveway on broken glass. We want to try to prevent that.
Right.
Well, we can. I mean, there's no,
Who would, if that little boy had gotten hurt?
I understand.
Who would have been responsible?
Probably his parents. Thank you. Sorry, appreciate it. Needless to say,
Can I have
Mr.
one more comment?
Sure, Mr. Schwartz.
If I was a council member, I would make a motion to get this mess cleaned up and bill the owner of the property. That's just my feeling about the whole thing.
So,
It's really bad.
so council enacted an ordinance a few years ago, plus there is a state law that requires insurance companies to escrow funds with the municipality in an event like this. We actually are anticipating the escrowed funds from the property insurance carrier to the borough within the next few weeks. But we still can't do anything until the police give us the go-ahead to clean up the site. But the expense to clean up the site will be paid by the insurance company for the property, not the taxpayers.
So
as much as-
we'll clean it up now, they won't send a company out to do it?
No, we'll take the funds and have a company come out
No, we'll do it.
and
We'll have a
demolish
company.
it and clean everything up, yes.
Listen, unfortunately, it's an active crime scene. If we touched it, we could be liable as a borough. So I think we'll get our public works out there and do everything we can to secure it so people can't access it, especially little children. But other than that, our hands are tied at this point.
So we have to sit and look at that mess across the street until the insurance company resolves.
Unfortunately, yes.
Not the insurance
Not
company.
so much
law
the insurance
enforcement
company,
agencies
yeah.
complete their investigation.
It's whoever's in charge of the investigation. They haven't reached a conclusion yet of what the cause was.
Okay, well, thank you for showing up tonight. I lost my agenda. Oh, there it is. No one else signed up for non-agenda items, so that brings us to the end of our agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Dern.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Vento. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all. And welcome aboard.